Game 3 of the NBAIHSAA semifinals. It's the Monrovia Bulldogs taking on the Franklin Grizzly Cubs. Franklin was able to tie it up last week. A couple nights ago against Monrovia. And here we go. Welcome to an afternoon game. It's the Cubs and the Bulldogs. Afternoon game, as later tonight, the Orioles will host Plainfield right back here in Monrovia. The Grizzly Cubs looking to win tonight and take a 2-1 lead. As if they do, that would be something. But if Monrovia wins and Monrovia could also win tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, right back here from the Monrovia Pound. We know for a fact for the finals, whoever wins the West will be getting to host at Mooresville, and then whoever wins here in the East will be hosting at Martinsville. And we're underway from Monrovia. And it is Franklin Grizzly Cub ball. Franklin has the ball. For two, Eli Jackson. That is actually kind of shocking. Eli Jackson for two. And Arvidas. Oh, shot is blocked. East with it. Back to Reifinger. Reifinger starting. And Jackson with the dunk. Eli Jackson with the dunk. Huge dunk by Eli Jackson. And here we go. Arvidas there. And he will dunk it in. Great dunk by Chris Arvidas. Here from Monrovia. Jackson with the ball. Jackson for three. Franklin off to a fast start here tonight. We're here this afternoon. Weaver with it to Seth Sierra. Sierra goes up to Herbeck. Back to Catchings. Cannon Catchings for two. Swafford has the ball. Chase Swafford with it back to East. East for two. And he drains it. Later it will be a sea of black here from Monrovia, as Avon will be hosting Plainfield. Arvidas back to Catchings. Catchings for three. It's 9-7. Here's Reifinger. Austin Horner still on the court for the Grizzly Cubs. East with it. Back to Reifinger. Reifinger for three. Franklin now up 12-7. Quick start by the Grizzly Cubs as they try to win here this afternoon. I don't know why I keep on saying tonight when this is an afternoon game. Great game. Sierra with it. Jackson covering. Back to Arvidas. Chris Arvidas for three. Eli Jackson with it. And who's he going to give it to? He's going to hand it off to nobody so far. Jackson keeps it. Back to Reifinger. Reifinger loses it. Arvidas. And Herbeck will dunk it in. And we are tied at 12. Hayden Herbeck dunks it in. And we are tied. Monrovia. Are they going to host at Martinsville? Chase Swafford has the ball. Swafford with it. He has an open guy next to him, and that is Austin Horner. But it looks like that he's going to keep it until the end of the quarter. And a dunk by Austin Horner. Horner with the lob catch and the dunk. Arvidas full court shot, no good. And the dunk to end the quarter by Horner. The Grizzly Cubs up 2 here in Monrovia. What a dunk by Austin Horner. And what a game indeed. Welcome back to Monrovia for the start of the second quarter, not the third quarter. It's the second quarter, the start of the second quarter here. Franklin up 2, 14-12. And here we go. Gilbert to Arvidas. Out there for Franklin, it's Picard, Lackey, Rockhill, Jackson, and Stevenson. And a layup was made by Gilbert, and we are tied again. Jonathan Stevenson on Gilbert. Here's Jacob Lackey with it. Lackey. There. Picard for 2. Drew Picard for 2. Chris Arnavitas with the ball from Monrovia. Arnavitas there. Not that many threes from him, and his shot is missed. It is rebounded by Lackey. Arnavitas has not looked good today. Eli Jackson again for 3. It's 19-14 now. Again, it's another fast start from Franklin. Weaver with it, almost losing the ball. Look at Jackson there. And there's a dunk by Greg Gilbert. Gilbert dunks it in. What a dunk by Gilbert, and a lob by Bryce Weaver. Eli Jackson with the ball now. Jackson looking for 3. It's Picard. 22-16. 6-point game once again for Franklin. Franklin wearing their all-navy uniforms, while Monrovia wearing their green and white unis. A 3. It's Bryce Weaver for 3. The green and white statement uniforms for Monrovia. And Eli Jackson for 3 again. And it's a 6-point game. Bryce Weaver looking. He has the ball again. Sold out crowd from Monrovia. Weaver to Gilbert. Gilbert loses the ball, and Lackey will get it. Rockhill. Oh, and the shot is blocked. Arnavitas with the rebound. One of these times, Arnavitas will shoot a 3. To Newman. Brandon Newman has the ball. Back to Arnavitas. And there he goes. It's a 2 for Chris Arnavitas. 4-point game. Eli Jackson with the ball. It looks like that Austin Horner is about to check into the game. Drew Picard for 3. 28-21. We have to give a lot of credit to these head coaches by both teams. Pat Green, head coach of Monrovia, and John Carnes, head coach of Franklin. Arnavitas for 2. The shot was almost blocked there. It's a 5-point game. Here's Lackey. Jacob Lackey there. Looking. Final seconds of the first half. Lackey looking to Rockhill. Rockhill for 3. Nathan Rockhill for 3. Arnavitas for 3. No good. 31-23 at half. And at halftime, it's 31-23. Welcome back to the Monrovia Pound. It is the second half, 31-23 Franklin. And Monrovia will start out with the ball. Herbeck to Arnavitis. Chris Arnavitis has the ball. Weaver is out there with Arnavitis. Then it's catching Sierra and Herbeck. Seth Sierra for three. How about that three by Seth Sierra? Eli Jackson with the ball now. East is out there with Swafford. Then it's Horner, Jackson, and Reipinger. Jackson for two. We are now hearing the Quakers and Orioles have entered the building here at the Monrovia Pound. Here's Arnavitis. He has the ball. Arnavitis looking. Back to Sierra. Sierra for two as Jackson tried to block it. And what a game we are getting into here this afternoon. The Quakers and Orioles are here and they are seeing a great game. Eli Jackson for two. 35-28. Only one dunk, and that was actually by Austin Horner. For three. It's Sierra again. Seth Sierra again for three. I think that was Sierra. He has 35-31. Reipinger throws it overhand to Swafford. Back to Jackson. Jackson still looking, and he will shoot it. Jackson for two. It's still a 6-point game in Monrovia. Arnavitis with the ball. Getting covered. Here's Seth Sierra again. Back to Catchings. For three. Chris Arnavitis. Finally, Arnavitis for three. Swafford with it. Back to Reipinger. Reipinger looking. He has Horner wide open, but Reipinger will go on ahead and shoot a three and makes it 40-34 Franklin. Arnavitis there. He is looking for three. And this is what Monrovia needed for Chris Arnavitis to go off in the second half. Jackson there to Swafford. Swafford loses the ball. And Sierra is going to dunk it in. It's a 1-point game. East walking it now. Pass her line. Here is Reipinger. Reipinger with it. He has Horner there as well. Horner with the block. And East for three. Horner was blocking the Monrovia guys. And it was 43-39. Here's Arnavitis. He is looking. Back to Weaver. Bryce Weaver for three. And what a game for Monrovia. At the end of the third quarter, it is 43-42. Monrovia has a chance to win it after two clutch threes by Chris Arnavitis. The Bulldogs have a chance to win this. 43-42. Welcome back to the Monrovia Pound. What a game we are seeing. And the assist of the game was Swafford's lob to Austin Horner, and Horner with that dunk. With that fantastic dunk in the first quarter. Rockhill to Pekar. Drew Pekar with it. Back to Jonathan Stevenson. Back to Pekar. Drew Pekar for two. And if you think about it, a 3-point here for Monrovia would tie it. Arnavitis looking. Gilbert, we are tied. Pekar is out there with Lackey. Then it's Bazel, Stevenson, and Rockhill. None of the starters are out there on the court. For Monrovia, it's Weaver, Arnavitas, Newman, Gilbert, and Mike Irwin. Lackey looking. Oh, shot almost blocked. And it's good. 47-45. Can Monrovia make a late game comeback? Back to Arnavitas. Arnavitas there. Back to Weaver. Weaver for the lead. Monrovia has the lead. It took them the whole game, but finally Monrovia, after clutch threes to end the third quarter, and now to start the fourth quarter, Monrovia leads at 48-47. And this is the first called timeout the whole game. Monrovia did not call the timeout. Franklin called the timeout. Man, what a game we are seeing. Austin Horners, Franklin Grizzly Cubs, maybe down 2-1 after this afternoon's game. And entering tomorrow, Franklin could be in a dire situation. And Lackey there. Lackey with it. Back to Stevenson. Jonathan Stevenson for three. And the Grizzly Cubs are back up front. They needed that three desperately. Arnavitas there. He continues to look. Weaver to Irwin. Mike Irwin for two. 50-50. Game tied. Great game from Monrovia. Lackey. Lackey with the ball. To P-Car. The crowd going wild. P-Car. Two, no good. Newman, back to Arnavitas. Arnavitas for two. And the whole Monrovia crowd is going nuts at home. Monrovia having a late game comeback and about to be less than a minute left. Great, perfect game by both these teams. But Franklin has not scored that good. P-Car for three. Timeout Monrovia. Franklin up by one. And since this is a timeout, it is time to actually talk about something cool about these arenas. Something cool about these arenas is that with the renovations that happened, some teams got renovations at the end of the year last season because they knew that these teams would be in race to host the semifinals and the finals. So, what do? They changed the way the buzzer sounds for each home game. Like Avon, they have their own buzzer at their own place, and that same buzzer sound will be sounding here in Monrovia. And that's the same with Plainfield. If Plainfield wins against Avon the series, their buzzer sound will play at Mooresville. The same as Monrovia. If they win against Franklin in the series, buzzer sound at Martinsville. Franklin, their buzzer sound will be playing at Martinsville. And that's the deal right now with Plainfield in Franklin. And what a game indeed. And that will end the timeout. About 55 seconds left in the game. Monrovia has the ball. 53-52. Arnavitas has it. Chris Arnavitas with the ball. He's looking for two. And the Bulldogs are back up front. I almost said Grizzly Cubs. East has it. Back to Reifinger. For three. Who was that? I think that was Jackson. Yeah, I think that was Eli Jackson. And that was not for three, that was for two. Here is Arnavitas. with the dunk. He will dunk on Austin Horner. Chris Arnovitis. A power dunk to tie the game. 22 seconds left. Arnovitis just dunked on Austin Horner. Dang. Great game indeed. And also, in this timeout, we're also going to say this, too. You know how Plainfield hosted at Franklin? Well, if Avon wins tonight, Plainfield will not be hosting their home games in the will not be hosting their semifinal home game at Franklin. They will still be hosting at Mooresville. They moved it all over to Mooresville. Monrovia, Franklin tie game. And that was just like a 50-second timeout. 22.9 seconds left on the clock. The fans are on their feet. It is loud here at the Monrovia Pound. Monrovia not trying to lose this. Game is tied. Looks like that the starters are back out there for Franklin. And it looks like that they are running down the clock. And this is what they need to do. Running down the clock. Less than 10 seconds to go. Swafford looking. Oh, and it's blocked. And we are going into overtime. Swafford's lob was blocked. It looked like that he was trying to lob it to Austin Horner so that he could dunk it again. We are going into overtime in Monrovia. What a game we are seeing in Monrovia. Eli Jackson has gone off. And if you remember, this is a sudden death overtime. Franklin will get the ball. And here's Swafford. Swafford. There. There. For three. Jackson with the game winner. I think Eli Jackson just hit the game winner for Franklin. Franklin wins it in overtime. 59-56. What a game we have seen. Let's see it. Yes, sir. Eli Jackson. We are hearing that was Eli Jackson for the game winner. Jackson, perfect ending to end it. It's time for the New Balance Player of the Game for Franklin. The New Balance Player of the Game after the overtime classic. Is none other than Eli Jackson himself. Eli Jackson with a spectacular dunk and a three-pointer to end the game. Jackson wins it for Franklin, and that will do it. Franklin is now up 2-1 in the series. And that would do it. What a spectacular game. The Grizzly Cubs win 59-56.